Nioh was a game that I'd gotten very excited about a long time ago, but had kind of forgotten about as time went by, and it just constantly stayed in development. More often than not, when games spend 10 plus years in development, they're either a masterpiece or a complete dud that heads straight to the bargain bin. So now that Nioh's been released worldwide, was it worth the long wait? My first impressions, I would say absolutely yes. I've currently played 6 main story missions, a couple of side missions, and the tutorials as well, and I've enjoyed every second of Ancient Japan so far. The game offers fluid combat, good graphics, deep lore, and a well-designed loot system that I have not been able to put the game down simply because of that. And whether I'm looking for hidden chests or trying to beat a boss or a big enemy in an area to see what he drops, I love the loot system, and it greatly resembles the loot system from Diablo. Nioh does have a few small drawbacks. It's not perfect, but they are few and far between, but we'll get to those here in a minute. But if I had to describe to you what Nioh was or what it was like, I would say that Dark Souls and Diablo had a baby. And of course there's some memories of Ninja Gaiden in there, and maybe some Tenchu as well. But the combat feels more like the Souls games, and the item pickups and the loot definitely feels like Diablo. However, hearing that, don't think Nioh is just a clone or a redo of another series. It does a lot of things very well. It deserves its own praise, and I would say there's a lot of things that it actually does better than the Souls games or even Diablo. And it offers a ton of replay value in the side missions, which are called submissions, and the Twilight missions as well. I would say they offer more replay value than even going through like a New Game Plus or something like that. The skill trees, the ninjutsu, the weapon forging, the spirit animals, they all feel vastly different than what we've seen before in those types of games, even Bloodborne for instance. But 2 of my favorite things in Nioh besides the loot system is 1, the weapon familiarity stat, which really makes you become attached to a weapon as you carry it into battle more and more and defeat enemies with it. It gains a buff on it, and it's for that type of weapon. So whether it be weapon, axes, or dual swords or whatever, you get rewarded for killing more enemies with it, and you'll get a damage output bonus. So it really makes you enjoy using that weapon, and it rewards you for it instead of just constantly replacing it with whatever you find in a loot chest or on an enemy that's fallen and tossing your other weapons aside and therefore making them virtually useless. And one of my other favorite things in Nioh is the bloody graves, and it's a lot like the ghosts running around in Dark Souls that are the reminders of the other players, and it offers like an intimidating reminder on the screen and a word of warning that hey, somebody has died in this area, there's something bad up here. So if you go to the bloody grave and you activate it, it will actually summon an NPC, and if you beat them, you have a chance of earning some unique and rare items, and it will actually show you what color the items are before you try to fight them. So it's really valuable to try to do it, and it's actually where I've gotten my best weapon so far in the game, by defeating those NPCs so far. But one thing that sets Nioh apart from the Souls games, and it's a lot like Bloodborne, how your player fits into the world. On the Souls games, your person that you're playing is very obviously not supposed to be there. You are vastly outnumbered, vastly outpowered, and you feel like you have no chance. And that's how the Souls games do a really good job of the atmosphere and making you feel afraid and knowing that everything can kill you at any moment and you are gonna struggle and you're gonna die. Nioh is hard. It is hard, but you don't feel that underpowered. You don't feel like you're in a place that you don't belong. You feel like a badass samurai, and you're gonna take what you want as you go through the land, and you're going to use your tactics and your skills, and you're going to conquer. And now for those negatives that I talked about. At times the AI is absolutely ridiculous, and they are raring to put your head on a stick. They will hear you from 100 yards away, charge you. They're throwing all kinds of ninja and samurai moves at you. And then the other times you will literally kill their friend that is 5 feet from them, or you will drop a body off on top of them, and they won't even react to you. And it will happen in different parts of the world, so I don't think it's a glitch or anything like that. And then the boss fights. The boss fights are hard. They're not near as predictable as the bosses from like the Souls games. But that being said, the difference from what you encounter in the world versus going to the boss fights, as you go further and further into the game, like, it will really set you back. Like, it is a huge difference from the normal world that you encounter in Nioh. to the boss fights. And then also, there's been multiple times where I've died and where I went back to my grave and my stuff should have been there, and I haven't died again, but all my stuff will be gone, my grave will be gone, and I've lost a ton of Amrita that way. I've lost over 10,000 twice, and I think I lost 19,000 once, so that was a lot of levels that I could have leveled up, and I just lost them. So I don't know if that's a glitch, or it's just something that happens in the game randomly. But Nioh does have an interesting story with a lot of deep lore to it. But if you get confused because maybe you were playing with your weapons and swapping out stuff or something like that, just remember that ultimately it's a battle of spirits and it's good versus evil. And should you get this game, should you check it out, should you rent it, well, I highly recommend Nioh. Definitely check it out. But if you don't have any patience, you get frustrated easy, or you absolutely hated the Souls games or Bloodborne or something like that, then you will have a miserable time. Just remember to always be on your toes, because those few moments of triumph can quickly turn into despair.